This is going to be number 4.
So it's a chocolate stout, you said?
This one was a chocolate porter, so it's going to be...
Call it an American porter. I'm going to call it a brown porter. There's no such thing as an American porter.
All right, let's see.
So,
would it be a robust porter then?
Robust,
Most Americans
right.
are higher gravity than a robust. There should be a category, by the way, for American porter.
too is you kind of get these two, and then you can kind of go back and go, "Ooh, this tastes a little bit better."
Mm-hmm.
If there's any left.
There is, we say so. Yeah. So, yeah, and this one, I think, definitely before we start, we need to choose whether it's going to be,
brown porter or robust porter.
We pretty much have to choose as a judging group.
I was told it was an American porter, and if not, it's not okay.
No such thing. That doesn't.
American porter. It's not category.
Right.
That should be experimental then, right?
I
mean, you could have American porter.
Right, it's just not a category. Really. We could do it as experimental.
Could do it as experimental.
I wonder who did that. I bet you have to buy it.
So you guys,
What did you like to know?
so we're going to make a decision though before we start because we got to read the style guidelines, figure out what we're going to do.
Right.
How about it there, Matt, Master Coordinator?
Matt is going to make the final decision as the coordinator.
Yeah.
Like I said, I lean towards if you've got an American porter style, go middle of the ground on porter, and it says chocolate as well, so you go with chocolate as experimental with middle of the ground porter.
Okay.
That's what I say, but I'm only just a voice.
Well, and this may be a beer we just have to judge on its own merit.
Right.
And you can give it the benefit of the doubt.
Brown porter goes all the way really high, and robust porter can be
A roasty.
pretty low on intensity.
Yep.
So.
Well, so you have a hard time even determining, really, to be real honest with you, between a real roasty porter and a stout. So.
Yeah.
To me, those are so close together that you could tell somebody, "Oh, here's a stout,"
or here's a porter,
or
a light porter,
a robust porter, or
a really dry stout.
Right.
Yeah. There's always blur in the styles. So
I go robust porter just because it's
robust porter. You think? There's a roast ball, right? Robust porter.
it can be, but it doesn't have to be.
it says should be noticeable and may be moderately strong.
So do we have a decision?
Let's stay with brown porter.
Brown
It can
porter.
be roasty.
Okay, going brown porter.
12A, but we're calling
12A.
it.
Doesn't look like a brown
It's
porter.
You said it's a chocolate.
specialty, so
It's
Based on-
brown porter with chocolate.
23 is the specialty category, but then the base style is going to be 12A.
Yeah.
So we decide. You guys feel like I have enough chocolate.
So,
All right, so we're going with
23,
brown porter.
12A.
The brown porter aroma is a malt aroma with mild roastiness, and it should be evident, and may have a chocolatey quality. May also show some non-roasted malt character and support, caramely, grainy, bready, nutty, toffee-like, or sweet. English hop aroma is moderate to none. Fruity esters, moderate to none. Diacetyl, low to none. Appearance is light brown to dark brown in color, often with ruby highlights when held up to light. Good clarity, although may be approaching opaque. Moderate off-white to light tan head with good to fair retention. The flavor is a malt flavor, includes a mild to moderate roastiness, frequently with chocolate character, and often a significant caramel, nutty, and or toffee character. May have other secondary flavors such as coffee, licorice, biscuits, or toast in support. Should not have a significant black malt character, acrid, burnt, or harsh roasted flavors, although small amounts may contribute to a bitter chocolate complexity. English hop flavor, moderate to none, medium low to medium hop bitterness, and will vary the balance from slightly malty to slightly bitter. Usually fairly well attenuated, although somewhat sweet versions do exist. Diacetyl should be moderately low to none, moderate to low fruity esters. The mouthfeel is medium light to medium body, moderately low to moderately high carbonation, so middle of the pack. Overall impression is a fairly substantial English dark ale with restrained roasty characteristics. So I'm hearing over here something about phenolic characteristics. You want to give a little
Definitely
talk about that?
Off
There
aroma.
is some off there. Almost a bleach.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's very
That's not good.
medicinal,
Mm-hmm.
band-aidy flavor.
Yeah.
Or band-aidish.
Yeah, that should not be there, right? Not the style.
Yeah, and I'm trying not to
Right.
give
Go-
my examples since I'm involved in it, but
Yeah.
or my thoughts on it. But I will let Matt talk as Matt may talk.
What? Huh? Burnt.
You think that's what it is? Burnt?
I think it's too much like
There's too much.
Matt's
something
saying
there.
that.
No, I'm thinking it's phenolic.
So Matt is talking about it being a burnt, and acrid can confuse with phenolic, and that those are two different characteristics, but very similar. So an acrid flavor is going to have similar characteristics in that it's got like a
What's that?
burnt, like the edge of the crust of a pizza type burnt char, but phenolic is more like a band-aidy type flavor, but it can move around. It can be a big difference.
Phenolic can be anything from smoky to band-aid
Yep.
to markers
Yeah,
to...
see it because I get it.
Phenols, they're like yeast.
See, I
There's
get
a
a
whole bunch of different varieties.
plasticky
I can see that.
Yeah.
aroma.
And what usually causes phenolics?
Yeast.
It can be yeast. It can be an infection. It can be cleanliness. Infection.
Yeah, usually people go back to infection as being the problem. So something in the
A lot
process.
of the times, people you can get phenolics like that too from using weird plastics. Even if you
Yeah.
don't have if you don't have
A plastic that's
Even
highly
using
heat rated.
Using a water hose that's not even it's not food grade.
Right.
If you use like a just regular old green water hose, a lot of times you can get phenolic characters in your
Yep.
beer. If you don't use, you should always go and get you a RV hose, a white one, because that makes a big difference. I know that from experience. So
Flavor's not bad.
No, it's not. I'm not getting a whole lot of chocolate. It's there. It's
It
not,
is
it's not
there.
Like, it's not
It's-
like
To me, it's a predominant flavor.
Really?
Yeah.
oh yeah, I most definitely get a medicinal flavor in the. What is that?
So
Well, I'm getting the chocolate.
I get a little bit of chocolate, but I get an overwhelming, phenolic or something. To me, it overpowers the flavor.
and that's what you'll find when you have a flaw like that. It doesn't take much of a flaw. Doesn't take much of an off flavor to really overwhelm the palate. So
Yeah,
it can
to
be.
me, to me that's overwhelming.
Yeah.
It is astringent.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be something that.
I think it's infected, me personally.
And most of the time, I know one of the other homebrewers in our area had the same problem as I had here back, a year and a quarter ago, is that I was taking my gas line and bleeding in and force carbonating through my liquid line, and I had a beer that had been carbonating on its own. And the reason why it was carbonating on its own was because it had some sort of an infection in it. And when I put that beer on the gas line with only 10 pounds of pressure, although it should not have had 10 pounds of pressure in that keg, it had like 15 or 20, and it blew back into the gas line.
Ouch.
And I didn't think much of it because I just cranked the pressure immediately. It was like a boom instinct, and I had it going. So I was like, okay, well, everything blew back into the keg because you couldn't see anything more in the line. But down the line, each beer on that gas hose, boom, boom, boom. Next one was infected. Next one was infected. Next one was infected. And, so what happens is I ended up replacing the entire gas line. So I lost, of 20 gallons of beer that I had on those, I lost a good 12 gallons of it because it was just worthless.
Pass me the guidelines, please. You took them away. Thank you.
Sorry. So yeah, I mean that's often a problem, is that you have an infection somewhere in your serving apparatus or somewhere in your your bottling apparatus.
And you never should I don't think get discouraged by infected beer. If you think about it, you have millions upon millions of different microbes that can affect your beer. There's just,
Yep.
The Acetobacter alone, I think there's I don't remember how many. I looked it up one day, but Acetobacter alone, which makes vinegar,
Yeah.
I think there's hundreds of thousands of different Acetobacter. So I like to think of myself as a pretty good brewer, but every once in a while, even me, I get bad beer.
It happens.
Hey, it happens in big breweries.
Yep.
So.
Ron just had to dump a keg or two or something.
So yeah, I mean it's not uncommon. It doesn't take much. That one little section under the rim of something that didn't get cleaned.
So if
that kind of deal.
If you come across and you have a bad beer, don't take it personally, because it happens. It does, and don't let that discourage you.
And you know what? The biggest thing that I've always seen with people when they have a beer that's got off flavors is that they think back to how hard they worked to make that,
Right.
and they're going, man, I tried so hard, I did so well, and it doesn't mean that at the end of that brew day, they may have made the best beer ever, but somehow between the end of that brew day and serving it to somebody, it got infected. And there are so many possibilities in so many places.
And these are all coming out of bottles. It could be a bottle to bottle basis.
Yeah, he could
Not
have.
every bottle can be not dedicated. Just be
Right.
used for an incident.
Could have had a bottle that he thought was
I've done
clean
that
and it wasn't.
before.
Oh yeah, I've done that
really
too.
great in the first round, and then got hammered in the second round because I had a bad bottle.
Mhm.
It just happens. So.
And a lot of people reuse bottles from commercial stuff, and those are really hard to get clean.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if they're bottles and they get yeast in the bottom.
Yeah, and from what I've heard from most people, I've heard people will take and rinse, and then they'll take a wash, and then they'll take some sort of a bottle cleaning, little scrub brush, and they'll clean inside the bottle, and then they'll rinse with hot water, and then they'll put them in the dishwasher, and then they'll take them out, and then they'll sterilize them with fire, and then they'll sanitize them, and then they'll bottle them or cap them, and when they come to time to actually bottle them, they'll take the caps off, they'll re-clean them, re-sanitize them, because they've had problems. And you're talking about people that do 25 to 50 entries into the Bluebonnet, and they go this intense on keeping their bottles clean, because
Me, I did it.
what are you going to do? You get one little problem, one little bottle, and boom, you've done. You've killed it.